Good day, everyone. Good day, Sir Don. We are the Group 7, and we are going to report the rebirth of freedom 1898 to 1941. For our motivation, we will present a short video about Fernando Amorsolo's famous masterpiece painting, The Making of the Philippine Flag. So our audience were supposed to give their own opinion about the video that they saw, answering the questions: what have you learned from the video, and do you think the video holds great importance to us as Filipinos of today?
The historical background of the artwork making of the Philippine flag. On May 28, 1898, the Philippine flag was created after the Philippine Revolutionary Army defeated the Spanish force in Battle of Alapan, Imus, Cavite. During Emilio Aguinaldo's exile in Hong Kong, he designed the Philippine flag ensewned by 3 women, and on June 12, 1898, it was waved at Imus, Cavite, making it as the Philippine Independence Day. The artwork created by Fernando Amorsolo y Cueto shows the 3 women sewing the flag named Marcela Agoncillo, Lorenza Agoncillo, her daughter, and Delfina Herbosa de Natividad. The purpose of the artwork making of the Philippine flag, as it is symbolized liberty, equality, and fraternity, blue stripe for peace, truth, and justice, and the red stripe for patriotism and valor. The purpose of the artist making this artwork is that it is believed that Fernando Amorsolo made this painting to show the citizens of the Philippines of how the Philippine flag was made, and to remind them the traditions and customs that we did not realize it becomes faded.
So instead, we asked our audience to just answer the questions or the following questions in a 1/2 sheet of paper and submit it to any of the facilitators in our group. So after that, we'll proceed directly to our discussion. So our discussion tackled about the state of literature of our country, which is the Philippines, during the start of the early post-liberation period. So this includes the different works from different Filipino creators during that or this period, and also the new Filipino literature and the Palangka Awards. In the early post-liberation period, Filipinos learned to express themselves freely, and this shows the different works of literature that has existed. Although at first, themes of the writing was more reflected on the war years. When normality is restored, it is when the theme has turned to the less pressing problems of economic survival. So it was also discovered that there were more readers in English than the readers in Tagalog, Ilocano, or Iligaynon. So some of the writers and the works of the period are The Voice of the Veteran, which is a work by ex-USAF, or stands for the United States Air Force men. So it might be a publication, a book, or a project where veterans share their experiences and perspectives. So it could cover a range of topics related to their service in the Air Force. Other works is The Twilight in Tokyo, Passion, and Death of the USAF. So this is a book written by Leon Maria Guerrero, which is published in 1946. And it provides an account of the events surrounding the USAF, or stands for the United States Army Forces in the Far East, during World War II. So particularly focusing on the Philippines and the challenges faced by the USAF in the Pacific theater. So the book delves into the passion and struggles of those involved, offering insights into the wartime experiences of both American and the Filipino forces. So other works is the For Freedom and Democracy by S.P. Lopez. There's also The Betrayal in the Philippines by Hermando Abaya, and 7 Hills Away by NBM Gonzalez. So next will be the subtopic, starting with the poetry in English during this period, to be reported by Miss Jessa Tagbo.
Good day to everyone and good day to you, sir. My name is Jessa Tagbo, and today my assigned topic is all about poetry in English during this period. So for the first 20 years, many books were published both in Filipino and in English. Among the writers during this time were Fred Ruiz Castro, Domenedor I. Ilio, and C. B. Rigor. Some notable works of the period including the following. First is The Heart of the Islands, 1947, a collection of poems by Manuel Viray. Second, Philippines Cross-Section, 1950, a collection of prose and poetry by Maximo Ramos and Florento Valeros. Third, Prose and Poems, 92 by Nick Joaquin. Fourth, Philippine Writing, 1953 by T.D. Agpaili. Fifth, Philippine Harvest by Amador Daggio. Sixth, Horizons List, 1967, a collection of works by professors of UA, mostly in English, short stories, essays, research papers, poem, and drama by Artemio Pataxil and Silverio Baltazar. Seventh, Who Spoke of Courage in His Sleep by N.V.M. Gonzalez. 8. Speak Not, Speak Also by Conrado V. Pedroche. 9. Other poets were Toribio Manio and Edith L. Chempo. The themes of most poems dealt with the usual love of nature and the social and political problems. Toribio Manio's poem showed deep emotional intensity. So, Toribio Manio's poetry appears to be a fusion of nature-centered themes, social and political consciousness, and also a profound emotional intensity. The synthesis of this suggests a poet who seeks to capture the multifaceted aspect of a human experience, employing nature and societal concerns are vehicles for expressing deep and more understanding of how these themes and emotional qualities are expressed in his literary works. So that's all in my part. Next is Miss Christine Cadiente.
Good day, Sir Don, and to everyone. I am Christine Cadiente, and in this part, I'll be discussing the novels and short stories in English. So, longer and longer pieces were being written by writers of the period. Stephen Havelianas, Without Seeing the Town, tells the grim experiences of war during the Japanese occupation. And in 1946, the Barangay's Writer Project, whose aim was to publish works in English by Filipinos, was established. And in 1958, the Pen Center of the Philippines, which is the poets, essayists, and novelists, was inaugurated. And in the same year, Francisco Arceliana published his pen anthology of short stories. And in 1968, Luis V. Teodoro Jr. short story The Adversary won the Philippines Free and Press Short Stories Award in 1969, and his story The Thrill of Professor Rigo won second prize in the Palanca Memorial Award for the literature, and in 1970, his short story The Distant City won the Graphic Short Story Award. That's all, and for the next topic will be discussed by Mr. Matt Loemoska.
So, good morning everyone, especially to our instructor, Sir Don Silvania Torres. Good morning, sir. So, I discussed the new Filipino literature during this period. So, Philippine literature in Tagalog was revived during this period. Most themes in the writings dealt with Japanese brutalities. of the poverty of literature, the Japanese government and brave guerrilla exploits, newspaper and magazines publications were opened like the Bulaklak, Liwayway, Ilang-Ilang, and Sinagtala. So Tagalog poetry acquired not only rhyme but substance and meanings. Short stories had better characters and events based on the fact realities and themes were more meaningful. So many books were published during this time, among which are. So first is Mga Piling Kata in 1957 to 1948 by Alejandro Abandilla. This book is considered a classic Filipino literature and it's notable for its use of modernist techniques and experimental forms. So second is Maikling Kwento Tagalog in 1986 to 1948 by Teodoro Agoncillo. So this book is considered one of the earliest examples of Tagalog literature and it's notable for its use of colloquial language and vivid descriptions of everyday life in the Philippines. So the third is Ako'y Isang Tinig in 1952. These collections of poems and stories by Genoveva Edrosa Machut. So this book is considered a landmark Filipino literature and it's notable for its use of feminist themes and perspectives. So the fourth is Mga Piling Sanaysay in 1952 by Alejandro Abandilla. So this book is considered a seminal works of Filipino literary criticism and it's notable for its insightful and provocative analysis of various works of literature. So fifth is Maikling Kata ng dalawang pangunahing author in 1962 by E.G. Abandilla and Ponciano E.P. Pineda. So this book is considered an important anthology of Filipino short stories and it's notable for its conclusions of work by diverse range authors. So sixth is Pamasong Tagalog in 1964. Collections of selected poems by Singsisiw and Balagtas collected by E.G. Abandilla. So this book is considered classic of Filipino poetry and it's notable for its use of traditional forms of themes. So the continuation of this topic is by Miss Angeline Narciso.
Good day everyone, I am Angeline Narciso and in this part, I'll going to discuss the books were published during this time among which were this is the continuation, The Sining at Pamamaraan ng Pag-aaral ng Panitikan, 1965 by Rufino Alejandro. He prepared this book for teaching in reading and appreciation of poems, dramas, short stories, and novels. Then, 8 is Manlilikha, Mga Piling Tula, 1961 to 1967 by Rogelio G. Mangahas. And 9th is Mga Piling Akda ng Kadipan, Kapisanang Aklat ng Diwa at Panitik, 1965 by Efren Abweg. So 10th is Makata, 1967, first cooperative effort to publish the poems of 16 poets in Filipino. Next is Pitong Dula, 1968 by Dionisio Salazar. Next is Manunulat, Mga Piling Akdang Pilipino, 1970 by Efren Abweg. In this book, Abweg prove that it is possible to have a national integration of ethnic culture in our country. 13 is Mga Aklat ni Rizal. Many books about Rizal came out during this period. The law or during the additional study of the life of Rizal helped a lot in activating our writers to write books about Rizal. Next is the Palanca Awards. So another inspiration for writers in Filipino was the launching of the Palanca Memorial Awards for Literature headed by Carlos Palanca Sr. in 1950. Then until now, the awards are still being given, although the man who founded it has passed away. So the awards were given to writers of short stories, plays, and poetry. So the first awardee this in its first year, 1950 to 51, in the field of the short story were the following. First prize is Kwento ni Mabuti by Genoveva Endroza. Second prize is Mabangis na Kamay, Maamong Kamay by Pedro S. Dandan. And the third prize is Planeta, Buwan at Mga Bituin by Elpidio P. Capulong. So, that's all for our discussion. Now, let's proceed to our learning activities to be facilitated by Jessa Tagbo.
For our exercises or activities instruction, read the statements carefully. Write A if the statement is true and nai if the statement is false. So it should be in bold letter. And I suggest that you should write it in 1/2 crosswise. So next in our assignment will be read by Miss Christine Cargente.
And for your assignment, here is the instruction. Complete the statement by filling in the blanks with the correct words. You can answer it directly in a 1/4 sheet of paper. Thank you and God bless.